Good evening. My name is Li Ruding. I'm Home Financial Advisor of ScotiaBank, and I think I have met many of you guys here. And then probably this is quite a few of you. It's the first time that you meet me. So today, actually, I've been here for quite a few times, and ScotiaBank and Home Life Landmark has a joint promotion program. So we come here every now and then to update our policy, and then if you refer business to us, ScotiaBank pays Home Life Landmark some fees, and then Tony Ma will pass down to you guys. So generally, that's what it is. So hope I can come more often to update the policy, and then eventually there will be a win-win situation. Okay, today I will talk about a few policy updates. For instance, the new immigrant program, our non-resident program, foreign student program, self-employed borrowers, and rental property, and miscellaneous and others. So the other day, a very good friend of mine asked me, who's also a real estate agent, and she asked me, do you still have a new immigrant program? So I was said, you're a good friend of mine, and you asked me such a question. And actually, I can understand that confusion. You know, there's all kinds of rumors, gossip, information on the market, and say, oh, new immigrant program has totally stopped. Actually, that's not true. Like some banks stopped for a little while, and then it came back. And then some of them, they say, oh, even though it's a new program, you still ask for job reference. They still ask for proof of income. So to us, to Scotiabank, it doesn't exist. It's purely new immigrant program. So as long as the applicant has been in Canada for less than 3 years, and if they can also prove an additional personal net worth. What additional personal net worth means, they can afford a 1-year principal and interest payment, mortgage payment, plus property tax. And this is just a proof. You don't need to hold the money for how long. I know banks have various type of requirement. So this, you just show us you have the money to pay the mortgage and the property tax for a whole year. No frill. You know, we go to the grocery store, no frill, just that's it. We won't ask for proof of income. We won't ask for a job letter from your original country. I know some banks, if you have you have worked here under work permit, or if you're a foreign student and you became permanent resident, doesn't work. But for us, we don't care. We don't care how you became permanent resident. As long as you are a new immigrant, as long as it shows on the lending paper or on the permanent resident card, you've been here for less than 3 years, that's it. No frill. So nice and clean. So new immigrant program does exist at Scotiabank. So that's that. And the second one too, people also ask me, do you guys still lend money to foreigners? Yes, we do. Also straightforward. As long as this person can put down 50% of down payment, no question asked. And then for some people, this person might be a permanent resident, might be a Canadian, but they live overseas. Just recently, actually back on February 19th, I closed the deal. This young couple, they were born here. They're Canadians, but they work and live in Hong Kong. And they can prove that, they didn't pay property tax. And if you check their credit history, there's not much activity on their credit cards. And they can provide a gas bill, they can provide electricity bill from Hong Kong. They're considered non-resident. So I proved them under non-resident program, and they don't have to pay the 15% non-resident tax.
How about international students?
International student, That's next I'm going to talk about. But international student, if they are still going to school, doesn't work. Does not work. Okay, that's the next thing I want to talk about here. Foreign student, if they have graduated, if they have a work permit and have a job, we can qualify them with their income. So recently I got a young couple. Usually these kind of kids, they graduated and they don't make much money. They make maybe 30 something. But this young couple put together, they make $70,000. And I still, that was before the new stress test, right? I could lend them $440,000. They bought the place for $740,000 and I qualify them with their income. And so they're happy to move in to a freehold townhouse. So that's that. And then people also ask me, do parents have to be on title? There's no such a thing. If the parents want to be on title, the parents have to apply by themselves as non-resident. Of course, then they will be subject to the non-resident, the foreign buyers tax. So that's that. So let's go back there. So we have talked about permanent resident, non-resident, foreign student that has graduated with work permit and income. Now the next thing, this is something new. Like before, for instance, you guys are real estate agents, and those who own a business, we always look at their T1 general. We look at your gross income. That's line 162, I think, and then we look at line 135. Line 135 is 162 minus the expense. So we strictly look at T1 General, line 135. That's your income after you deducted all the expenses. And that's it. But nowadays, it's recent, starting from April. So for instance, if your line 135, your income is, say, 50,000, we can gross it up by another 15%. So that's good news. So it means if, 15% of $50,000, that's how much? 7,500 divided by 12, that's about $600 a month. And that means, I think that means maybe $100,000 of mortgage. So that's good news for self-employed and commission-based income borrowers. So for student, we talked about it. And then I also want to talk about the investment property. ScotiaBank, it's not me that's bragging it. The other day I was talking to one of you guys, someone from Homelight Landmark, and he said, I said, what if some deals I cannot approve? Where do you go? And he says, I go to other banks, I go to wherever. But eventually at the end, he said, you guys are still the best to his experience. And especially with the investment property. For example, if you buy purely a rental property, so we'll look at your expenses on your principal residence. We count your mortgage payment, your property tax, your heating cost on your principal residence. And then we also ask you, how much do you think this property will be rented for? And you said, okay, this place can be rented for $2,000. And I just say, cut it in half, this is your income. And we're not going to add any other expenses anymore. So there's an example. So for instance, if this couple make $120,000 per year, and then if their home tax is $4,000 a year, and that is like 4,000 divided by 12 is how much? Like, you guys are real estate agents, you're very good. 333, right? And heating cost is, say, $100 a month. So, then, actually, I have the calculation here. You have a marker, right? Here. I have the calculation here on the board. It's there, right? So let's do a calculation here. Okay, so if the couple makes $100,000 a year, and then you know how we qualify the mortgage? We say 44% of your gross income can go to your debt, no matter what debt, like a mortgage, your credit card, your student loan, your car lease, your car loan, right? So someone calculate for me, please. How much is this? 120,000 times 44%. Is it 48 something?
No, more than that.
More than that?
40% is 48.
54.
How much is that? 5 to 8, like that, right? Someone calculate for me this number divided by 12. Is it
44.
44? 437. I think I calculated.
Yeah. Like
Is it something like that, right?
1 ounce is 10,000, 44% for 1,000 is 44. Exactly.
Okay, exactly 44?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I believe you. 44. Okay, so this is the much you can afford for all of your debt. Now we look at your principal residence. So we say your property tax is $4,000 a year divided by 12. So your property tax is $333 per month, right? And then pretend that this place is 2,000 square feet. So your heating cost is 100, right? So this is your cost of your home. And then how much is your mortgage? Like, for instance, someone's mortgage monthly payment is $2,500. Home mortgage we're talking about, right? $2,500. So this is what, 2,933? Okay? So this is the expense of your home. But you have this much capacity, right? So 4,400 minus 2,933. Can someone calculate that for me? Is that 2,6 something? 2,4 something? 1,4. Okay. 1,467, right? Okay. Now I go back to. Okay. Now we say I'm going to buy a new property. This place can be rented for $2,000. That's normal, right? Then I say, okay, my potential rental, $2,000. 50% of that, 1,000. So this is the much you can afford for the next mortgage. So 2,467. And then I go back to my calculator here. Let's see how much they can afford for the next property, if it's a rental. So let me come out of here. Come out of here. Oh, my messy desktop. So where's my calculator? Oh, before I came, I particularly saved everything. Oh. No, it's on the desktop. Oh, here. Program? No, it's not a program. It's a file, actually.
Oh, file. Short. Right.
How come it looks different from... no, mortgage calculator. It's so weird. This no.
Wait.
No, that's not. Hey, where's my desktop? That's direct desktop, right? Okay, I remember. I think that's 2,417 with the calculator is 200 something. It shouldn't be.
Is the mortgage calculator?
Mortgage calculator. Where is it? Here?
Yeah.
Oh. See, you have sharp eyes. Okay. So, how much is my capacity there? 2,467. Oh, 24,000. 2,467. Now, we want to maximize the amount, right? So we want to amortize it over 30 years. And now with the new stress test, So let's say 5 point. It has to be 5 point something, 5.49 some. It's rental, right? See how much? 430,000. Okay, can someone calculate for me 430,000 divided by 0.8? How much is that? Is it 600 something, right?
No, 550.
550 means you can still buy a rental property, which is 550,000, and you can be approved this much mortgage with this kind of income. See, that's how we calculate. Usually, like, there are quite a few of you guys, before they go show the place to their clients, they phone me. They say, could you do a calculation for me if this person can afford? So this is how I calculate. But of course, if I just show you just once, you may not like totally understand it, but you can always call me. I can always calculate for you. And then sometimes they say, what? Are you sure they can afford that much? And I said, oh, and then they say, did you add this? Did you add that? I added everything. They can still afford. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back. Presentation. Oh, there you go, PowerPoint. Oh, no, not this one. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, here, there you go.
Second.
Here. Okay, so then we talked about we're going to talk about this student rental. So, does anybody has any other examples that you'd like us to calculate again? Or you can call me later for this. So now we want to do another calculation. Now we say, okay, just now we calculated, say I want to buy this property purely for rental. But what if I already have a rental I already have a principal residence and a rental, and I want to buy a third one. Let's see how it goes.
Even sorry for interruption. The maximum how many you can have for rentals?
10.
Oh.
Yeah, you can go on and on for 10. But so far, I haven't seen anybody really have 10 property. I've seen people who has 7. 4 or 5, yeah, I think everybody in this neighborhood has at least 2 properties.
They're very low key. They don't tell you.
I won't tell you either who has it with me. So now let's continue with the calculation. We say, okay, this couple, they make $120,000, and their home expense we calculate is $2,933. And then let's say that property, okay, we just bought that property for $600,000, right? And you borrowed $430,000. So we still say, okay, and then if you go back for $430,000 at 3.49%, the mortgage payment would be $1,958. That I did my homework before I came. Okay, a short memory test. So someone makes 120,000. Their monthly capacity is 4,400. Is that right? Okay. Now their home capacity we calculated. How much was it? 2,933, right? And then now they bought that property. They borrowed 430,000, and I don't want to go out and calculate again and just can't find my presentation. So 430,000, the mortgage payment is 1,958, I think. Now, say, now I want to buy a second rental property. And this property, again, can be rented for $2,000. Now I say, okay, $2,000, potentially. You don't even have to provide me with a lease or anything. You just tell me, $2,000. 50% of that, so $1,000 of income. That's all. So now, so if I have 4,400, so can someone calculate for me 2933 plus 1958? How much is that? Is 38 something?
4891. 4891.
293, 48, okay? 4891, right? So this is what? Oh, no. Oh, my. This is how, so now $1,000, right? Minus this, 1958. So this is what? Minus 958, right? So we say on your first rental property, you have a rental shortfall of $958. Now let's go back to your home. Your home expense is this much. Your rental shortfall is this much. Can someone add this and this for me? 28 something, right? 38. Is this 38?
39.
39.
3891.
391. 391. Now, can someone calculate this? 4,400 minus 3891? How much is that? 549? 509. 509. 509. Now 509 plus 1,000? 1,509. You have another $1,500 capacity. You can borrow again. You can borrow, I think I calculated another 212,000 or whatever. So you can go on and on until you have 10 properties. So, so this is how you calculate for subject rental property and non-subject. And then another thing is, like recently I have quite a few, like young kids, they just graduated from school and they make good money. They make 50,000, 80,000, and they still live with their parents. And we say, okay, then that will be totally different. So then I will say, okay, for instance, pretend this kid makes 120,000, and this is his capacity, and all of his home expense is $400. And it's a rental property, right? So 4,400 minus 400, that much I know.
You don't pay rental at all, my son.
But we still say your son doesn't pay. I still say your son pays 400. Yeah. You have to pay something. So 400. So that much I know is 4,000. And then he buys a rental property for $1,000, for 2,000 the rent, 50% of that. His capacity is 5,000. Think about it, like how much he can afford. So these are the new things, and the very flexible things. So I got quite a few like real estate agents or customers. They can't get a mortgage from other places, and then I just got the leftover of business, because I know at other banks they also have a number called DCR, whatever. We used to have that many years ago, but we don't calculate. As long as you have a capacity, you can go on and on. Okay, so that's the rental property. Next one. Rental property, non-resident, new construction. So for new constructions, I think this is something different that we have as well. Like we can guarantee the interest for up to 18 months. Okay, say I bought a new construction property. I can lock the rate for 120 days, for 6 months, 9 months, a year, year and a half. So the good thing is, back in December, I locked the rate, a 5-year for 3.2 something. And now the property closes in, like say, in May. May 7th is closing day. And then when he shopped around, the rate is higher than that, right? So then he's happy. And then there's another customer say they got the mortgage last year, and now it's closing this year. Well, I guarantee the rate for 1 year. Of course, he's happy, right? The rate was much lower a year ago. Just like that. And then also, this is something new. Because it's a new property, right? We don't know what the property tax is. And before we say, okay, it's 1%. Now it's 0.69%. And the other day, someone came to me and said, okay, I went to another bank. It's a new construction. And they cannot approve me that much. And then I said, show me how the calculation. I said, how come everything is the same? Why I can approve and they cannot? And that's the difference. They put 1% as the property tax for new construction, and we put 0.69%. So the other calculation was property tax was like $8,000 a year, and mine is $6,000. So 2,000 divided by 12, how much is $166? So we're talking about another probably $50,000 of mortgage, right? So, so that's there's other miscellaneous updates. For instance, like if I come here, I want to apply for a second mortgage, for a second property, and then my home has a separate entrance, and I rent it out. That rental income, I also count 50% of that as income. And also, recently I have a customer, he lives in Halifax, and he bought a place here in Toronto, and he said this will be principal residence. But other banks say, once you get out of Halifax and you move to Toronto, you'll be jobless, so we won't approve your mortgage. But this person works for CGI. It's a big company, and he said he's going to transfer internally to CGI here, and we approve. So we just call to verify, is he really transferring internally? Yes. So he's very happy. He's closing on the 12th. And also for maternity leave, like before, if you are on maternity leave, we don't count your income. But now, if you're on maternity leave, usually we count 60% of the income. But if you go back to work within 2 months after the closing, we count 100% of the income. For example, there's one young mom. She is going back to work on July 1st, but the property closes on May 1st. So this is like 2 months within 2 months after the closing, I count 100% of the income. So and also for seasonal worker. I also got like an older couple, Filipino couple, and then they said other banks can't give us a mortgage because I have seasonal income. The gentleman works for a funeral home. But then we count that. You just bring me 2 years of T4, we count that income. And also, some people ask me, say, oh, I have a new job and then haven't passed the probation yet. We don't care. I have recently just got the deal. She started her full-time job on March 1st, and then she provided me a pay stub on March 6th. Actually, half of it is for like when she was working part-time, and half of it is for when she's working full-time. We accept that pay stub. But of course, this is like a very solid job. This person is a pharmacist and works for Shoppers Drug Mart. So we can take all these kind of exceptional proof of income. And also exceptions. Recently, I got to such an exception. Everybody said it's impossible. I have a foreign student, just graduated from school, got the job letter, got a pay stub. And her husband is a Canadian citizen. Usually we would say you either just have 1% the Canadian citizen apply, or you as a foreign student. You can combine, but you can ask. So I combine their income, and it's approved. So the girl is so happy. The girl was crying when I told her it's approved. And I was so excited. It's just a small piece of business, but this girl is so desperate. She likes that property. So I got excited. I kicked myself on, on the wall and hurt my toe. So that's pretty much for the updates. And then, like I said at the very beginning, ScotiaBank has a key partnership program for all real estate agents. Like whoever refer business to me, you got points. Everybody has a code with me, has a profile. You got points, and then if you refer certain amount of business, you can go for a free trip. And you can come to our branches. Whoever likes it, you can come to our branches, and we can at the branch we can hold something called a mortgage day. You can put all of your listings there, and you can approach. Like people actually will approach you for the listings, and you can talk to people at ScotiaBank, and that means okay, ScotiaBank endorsed this real estate agent, so there's more credibility there. And then in addition, like I said, because of the special relationship between ScotiaBank and HomeLight Landmark, you also got referral fee. So that's pretty much it. And you can, if you have any more questions, you can contact me. That's my phone number, my WeChat ID, and you can also scan the code. Any questions for me? Sure.
A detailed case.
Okay.
My client bought a, say, $1 million house.
Okay. I'd like to take notes.
Sure.
So it's a learning experience for everybody, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, $1 million.
Yeah.
Home?
And he's a foreign student, just graduated with working permit.
Okay,
But salary is very low, only $30,000.
$30,000. Okay,
You can pay down 40% of the.
okay.
Purchase.
So he can pay down 400K,
Yeah.
and he needs 600K.
Right.
That's tight. So I would say 30K times 44%. This is what,
He will rent
30.
the property out.
You can't rent it out.
No?
Yeah, it has to be principal residence for the foreign student.
Oh.
Yeah, so then I think he probably can borrow maybe 100-some thousand. Let me see. Let's do the calculation here. 30K times 44%, is that 13,200? And 13,000 divided by 12? I don't know. That's 1,100-ish? Yeah. And then see the property tax for something, $1 million, that would be 4,000 something, right?
Yeah.
333. Heating costs, say 100. 433 is the 100. 433 is the cost. So he only has $600 of capacity. So not very much. Maybe just
Maybe
100.
he has additional money for the first year interest and the mortgage payment. Does that help?
I'm sorry, could you?
If he has additional money sitting in the account for mortgage payment for the first year,
The down payment.
Yeah, but it still doesn't work. He needs to have to, like, if with this capacity, he can borrow maybe 100,000. He needs to put down 900,000. Yeah, like that.
so if he rent out like a 4-bedroom house, he rents out 3 bedrooms.
You can't rent out. It doesn't. It has to be principal resident for this kind of program. Yeah, yeah. So looks like still the parents have to kick in. Yeah, on title. Yes.
For condos, will you count the management fee?
Yeah. We'll count the management fee. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's why I said the previous young couple who makes 67,000, they bought a freehold townhouse. But then if there's a condo fee, $600, so that won't work. So, okay, any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So let's say you have your property and so on, you have a little bit of room but
Okay.
not enough to buy something in the market. So let's say you have a friend, you want to do a joint venture.
Okay.
Would that help? Let's say you count it, or it has to be a family for it to...
Doesn't matter, whoever, yeah. So that happens, like friends, they buy a property together. That I have a brother and sister who has a rental property, and then now the sister wants to buy a principal residence with her husband, and we did all the calculation, and it works.
Okay, so it's not a disadvantage.
No, it's not. But it can be, because if the other person has tons of mortgage, tons of debt, so that might hurt the first person. Any other questions?
The other question I had actually, so you said you had a client, they showed us the last 2 years T4,
Okay.
not necessarily every month pay stub.
I only asked for one most recent pay stub, and actually, if the pay, so for instance, if it's just a salarized job, right? Just one pay stub, one T4. But if you also make like a bonus, you give me the T4s because I can count the bonus. And if you have a part-time job fluctuates too, right? Also, give me one pay stub, give me two T4s, I can count the income with the 2-year average.
So if it's a commission income, you need a few of them to take an average, right?
Yeah, also two. Just to have a couple who both work for Rogers and at sales. So I suggest bring me 2 years of T4. I don't care how much you make on the pay stub, but roughly it still has to, when you compare, right? It has to be like, say, if you claim you make $100,000 a year and then it shows a kind of year to date, if it's close, I just count the previous 2 years of income.
If the self-employed, the 2 years T4, T4A, you calculate the average, the 2 years, right?
Yeah, I count the line 150 on NOA plus 15%, and then you average it out.
Oh, okay. Because some bank take the lower.
Yeah, I take 2 years average, then I compare with the most recent year, whichever is lower. Like for instance, you say in 2016 you made 80,000, and in 2017 you made 90,000. So this is 170, right? And divided by 2, this is 85, right? So I count 85. But if you say, here, 2016 you made 80,000, 2017 I made 60, so that's 140, right? Divided by 2 is 70, I count 60.
But if the huge difference, for example, 2016 is 80,000 and 2017 is 200,000, it's more than 20% different. And then some other bank, they only count the lower one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you guys count the average?
We can, no, we also count we compare the average and the lower one.
Oh, okay. If the huge difference, they don't
Yeah,
count
yeah.
the average, only take the lower one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, see, that's why I start to understand why in some cases, like other people can't get it from other places, and when they come to me, I can get it. So, because it's the way we calculate things. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, we have a little, shall we do the lucky draw?
Maybe lucky draw, and then if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Yeah.